The US-Mexican border es una herida abierta, where the third world grates against the first and bleeds. And before a scab forms, it hemorrhages again, the lifeblood of two worlds merging to form a third country, a border culture. The borderland is a vague and undetermined place created by the emotional residue of an unnatural boundary. It is in a constant state of transition. The prohibited and the forbidden are its inhabitants.
And where you're from?
My name is Jane Reddick, and I'm from Menominee, Wisconsin currently. And we came to spent about 10 days in Ajo, which is south of here near the border. Actually through a friend who told us about it, and we ended up actually meeting some of the Samaritans who are working to put water and food in the desert just to prevent people from dying. And so I was able to have the good fortune of meeting them and spending time with them and learning really what's happening with migrants, immigrants who are coming across the border and their struggles. Well, I went out with them actually to one day to put up crosses where people had been found dead through the desert, and along that whole area close to Ajo I've seen some maps where they have documented where people were found dead, and there's just, the numbers were really extensive. I think it was like 42 just in that area around Ajo last year. I actually spent 5 years working and living in Guatemala in the late 80s and early 90s, and when I came back for the last 13 years or so, I've been doing interpreting for our local county public health and birth to 3 programs, and so I'm working with the families. One day I was working with a woman, and I noticed her toenails were damaged, and I said, well, what happened? She says, well, I was walking two days across the desert, or hearing the stories of what they go through and the many attempts to cross. One woman I work with now, she had been put in detention, I think, 3 times. And she's back, and she's working, her husband's working on a dairy farm. I think the big takeaway, the big thing to remember is that, people are coming here to this country for the same reason people have come throughout all of the United States history. And we have not always treated immigrants well, if you look back through history with a lot of the exclusion, over the years. But people are coming here for the same reasons, to have a better life for their families. These things do not take place in a vacuum. They have a history. It's a hard history, but we need to acknowledge it.
The struggle is inner. Chicano, Indio, American Indian, Mojado, Mexicano, immigrant Latino, Anglo in power, working class Anglo, Black, Asian. Our psyches resemble the border towns and are populated by the same people. The struggle has always been inner and is played out in outer terrains. Awareness of our situation must come before inner changes, which in turn comes before changes in society. Nothing happens in the real world unless it first happens in the images in our heads. Gloria and Sadua.
I have nothing against it. Fine, build a wall. But we have problems also here in the U.S. And that's a lot of money. And that wall is making a lot of Mexico. Hey, they don't care about the wall. They ain't gonna pay for it. If there's a will, there's a way. Or there's a way, And hell, everybody knows about the tunnels. They jumping over the fences. They cross over the border. Fake IDs. Some make it, some don't. It's not gonna stop. There's too much money in drugs. They're gonna cross it one way or another.
I think it's more of a deterrent than the issue to stop them. It's not. Everybody knows it's not going to stop them.
No, everybody knows.
But if we have nothing, absolutely nothing there, then you're just opening. It's an open, free border. I would rather have at least a deterrent there. We don't have the manpower with Border Patrol. We can put the military there, but then somebody else complains.
Right.
The wall is getting built regardless, because I deliver metal poles every day to where they're unloading them off a train.
Yeah.
Every day we unload 6 cars, 33 foot and 29 foot posts, 8-inch posts. And they get delivered every day, Monday through Friday.
Right.
And they say they're for to refurbish the existing wall that's there, which is probably those posts that you're talking about, like that. But if we have absolutely nothing there, I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not meant to stop. It's just as a deterrent. I would rather have a deterrent there than to have
That's what I said.
absolutely nothing.
Like they complain because you're a Democrat, or they complain because you're a Republican.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't
build
either.
the walls. They build it.
That
but we got problems here.
That's right.
That money can be.
That's right.
Especially
You know
in the
what?
border.
That's what, like in Washington, to see that bickering going on up there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it frustrates me.
One time, President Bush came over to visit, right? And he landed in Yuma, and he came over, and they had a sandbag for him, ready for him, so that he could actually ride around the border here. He just rode around here, got back into his SUV, and that's it. That was the visit. But
was this portion of the fence built during the Bush or Obama administration?
Yes, none of this stuff is new. The only thing new here is the barbed wire. That's it. That's what the Army's doing. That's all they're doing. See, they're inside there doing the same thing, just putting in more barbed wire, adding barbed wire on top of barbed wire. That's what they're doing.
We perceive the version of reality that our culture communicates. We get multiple, often opposing messages. The coming together of two self-consistent but habitually incomparable frames of reference causes un choque, a cultural collision. In the borderlands, you are the battleground, where enemies are kin to each other. You are at home, a stranger. The border disputes have been settled. The volley of shots have scattered the truce. You are wounded, lost in action, dead, fighting back. Caminante, no hay puentes, se hace puentes al andar. Voyager, there are no bridges. One builds them as one walks. Gloria and Salua.